Morning. All right. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone had a great day. Happy Tuesday. Had to check my calendar because I don't even know what day it is. For those of you who don't know me, I just met a couple brand new people on the team. I'm Saray. I'm a diamond leader. I've been with the company for 2 years now. I started the company back when I had my daughter. It was just extra money. And then about a year, or actually a couple months later, I got pregnant with my second baby pretty quickly. So then our needs changed. So I needed this to be my full-time income, which then happened. I became diamond this past February and I earned a $10,000 bonus. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys some newbie tips that I feel are really, really important to like kickstarting your business, especially now that we only have 99 days left in the year. So it's essentially going to be your 90-day push into where you want to be in the business. So if you join the business just to make 200, 300, 6, 7, whatever amount of money that you wanted to join, these are kind of going to be your basic steps to be able to implement into your business, but I'm going to be giving you a little bit extra tips on it. So first things first, some of you guys have probably already seen in the team pages that I have shared with you guys a document that I created that's called Your Steps for Success. And this bounces off of Jordan's video that she gave us in the Goal Getters page, Goal Getters page, where she kind of went step by step talking about what steps you need in order to run your business. So I'm just going to show it briefly to you guys, and I'm just going to talk about some of them, but not all of them. So the steps for success are very simple, and it's basically posting on profile and stories, expanding your network, which is following, interacting with your network, self-development, messaging, and following up. So those steps are very, very vital for your business. And there was a video that Sarah Newman actually did yesterday that she compared it to a baby. So like if you have a newborn baby that's at home and they're crying, you obviously as a mom, or like you go and you feed your baby, like your baby cries, you're there to attend to the baby and their needs, right? So your business is essentially your baby. So you can set timers on your phone to remind you when to do tasks for your business. But if you're not actually completing it, you're neglecting your baby. So your baby is slowly going to start it's going to be kind of crumbling down. So with your business, we do the same steps every single day. It doesn't matter when you get it done. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just a matter of doing it. And if you're seeing results, staying consistent with it. So a lot of us leaders actually run our business very, very differently from each other, but we still see results. So even down to the way that we get organized or how we message, we all do it differently. So there are going to be certain things that are going to be trial and error for your business as you're launching it. And then it's just going to be a matter of deciding if you want to continue doing those things, or if you want to switch it up and stuff like that. So it's just a matter of like trying it out. If you're not doing anything, you're not going to get any type of results. So first thing I want to start talking to you guys is about messaging. So you can message all day long. Like you could be messaging, initially you could be messaging 50, 100, 200 people. But if you're not if you're not doing it with a purpose, and you're not setting any type of goals, I promise you that you're just going to wear yourself out. And a lot of those people that you're messaging, like you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, I got 200 messages out today. This is amazing. But out of those 200 messages, how many people really did respond to you? Or how many people might have asked you for more information? And then you're going to start it's going to be like a backward spiral in a way, because you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like this isn't working. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, blah, blah, blah. So although messaging is a big aspect of our business, you want to be messaging with a purpose. So something that I changed up recently was that I started messaging to try to get numbers. So it doesn't matter. One day I might send out 20 messages and get my 10 potential customers for that day that I'm looking for. Or some days it might take me more messages during the day. So you want to make sure that you're actually creating potentials for the day. So you could be sending 100 messages in the day, but if you didn't create a single potential, you might want to try to see what your message is, what kind of message you're sending, what kind of people you're messaging, because there could be something wrong with that. So then you also kind of want to analyze those aspects. So creating potentials is really, really important. Now, as you're creating potentials, you're going to want to start organizing yourself. So a way that I organize myself is I create a list in a notebook, super simple, and I just create a list for a column for my potential customers. For example, this one. I do a list for my potential customers, and then I do a list for my potential distributors, and I do this daily. So I just go through, if I had a conversation with them and they wanted more information on the products or the business, I write them down. And then that way, when it's follow-up Friday or any other follow-up day that you kind of have, you have this list of names that you can just go through and be like, okay, so-and-so and I had a conversation yesterday and I want to follow up with them because I don't think they messaged me back. Having this organization, you're not going to have anybody fall through the cracks. So you have an idea of how many people you're actually creating. Again, if you're sending out mass messages and you don't have a long list, then you kind of need to change something to create these potentials. So organization is key. If your life is super busy and you don't have time to have a notebook near you, or you don't have time, some people have a binder, some people do Excel, some people organize themselves on their phone, some people do calendars, whatever works for you. You can always screenshot the conversation and then later on at night, write down the potential customer or distributor that you had a conversation with. So those two things are really, really important. Something else that obviously is really important is taking control of the conversation. So now that you have someone you're talking to and it's a potential customer, for example, and they're telling you all of their needs and everything. Of course, you always want to show personal interest. You don't just want to slap up a script there and then just hope for the best. You want to take into consideration everything that they're saying to you. And if they're telling you that they've been struggling to lose weight, or they've been telling you that they have health issues, you want to talk about that with them because they're opening up to you. And that's really going to help you in order to kind of be able to seal the deal. We actually had a new distributor that enrolled with us last night, and the messages that they were sending, like the way they were showing personal interest, that's something that you can't really teach. So that's something that you always want to show. You don't want to stop being who you are. You always want to have that personal interest and show your personality with your messages. So if you're the type to be super hype in your messages, show that with your messages. If you like to send GIFs, you like to send funny memes, anything like that, then do that. That's something that I actually personally do. I'm very, very hype. I'm always like, hey girl, like, yeah, I got you, stuff like that, because that's just my personality. So don't stop being who you are, because that's still going to help you seal the deals as well. With taking control of the conversation, people are going to know if you're confident or not. So being a newbie, sometimes you have that nervousness of like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know how I'm going to present the product. I don't really know much about it. I haven't even tried it. I don't even know if it works, like on myself. Like all I see are before and after pictures of other people, or even down to like, what if like I say something wrong and you just probably have so many things running through your mind. But this is where your confidence is going to come in. So even if you haven't tried the products, when I joined this company, I had only tried the wraps, but that didn't mean that I wasn't able to sell one of our biggest bundles between my first 4 loyal customers. Like my first product that I sold, I forget what it was called. It was a bundle that we have that no longer even exists, and it's not the Fit 30. It was the System, and that was one of the biggest products that you could sell. So I was so excited, but I had only tried the wraps out of the entire bundle. So it didn't stop me from doing it. All I did was, which is something that I obviously highly recommend for anybody who's new, is go through your website, look at the products that we have to offer, read up on what they do and how they work. In our Goal Getters page, we have a full list of descriptions of the products so that you can also look at those too. But just look at your website, just see what kind of products we have to offer. That way you're confident in what you're recommending. Send those screenshots to your upline or the person who enrolled you. That way they can help you walk you through those conversations, because that's how you're going to learn as far as what you can recommend. And then you're going to see that it's going to get very repetitive. A lot of people who lose weight, we're going to recommend the keto triple threat. We're going to recommend the cleanse. We're going to recommend for hair, skin, and nail growth. It's just the hair, skin, and nails and collagen. So you're going to start getting used to that. So you can just save those in your notes, and that way you can copy and paste that. You can start doing your own 90-day challenges, especially since you're a newbie. You can tell people when you're doing your stories or your posts, you can say, I'm going to start this 90-day challenge. Who wants to do it with me? So I'm going to start doing this detox. Who wants to do it with me? Or I'm going to grow out my hair and I'm going to take out my before and after pictures. Having your before and after pictures is going to help you so much. But obviously, some of us probably couldn't have afforded it when we joined the business because we needed money. So stress to try to get your first 4 customers so you get your $100 shopping spree so that you can then purchase those products. So then you can get your before and after pictures. Something they mentioned in conference this weekend that I thought was really neat was that when they're messaging their friends and family, which is what they recommended for your initial 4 loyal customers, is really taking the time to show that personal interest with them and telling them, look, I would love your opinion. Like, I know that you're going to be super honest with me, and I'm going to give you my discount, and I just want you to just be honest with me, take the product for 3 months, and then tell me what you think. Simple as that. So let's not overcomplicate what our messages are going to be. We also don't want to just like word vomit all over. Don't answer questions that were never asked. The simpler you keep the conversations, the better. So like if you're having a conversation with someone, you want it to be a question, you want to end it with a question and have them answer it and then continue it and end it with a question. So like if you're giving that intro message and then they answer, yeah, I would like more information. You tell them the products. You don't want to jump from the products into the pricing, into let me send you my website so you can see what I have to offer. And then they haven't even asked you about like specifics of products. That's kind of one of the first things that as newbies we tend to do. We send our website right away. But let me tell you why that sometimes isn't the best thing. So you send them the website, you tell them, tell me what you think. And what happens 99% of the time? They don't tell you what they think. They don't even answer you back, or they don't even message you back, because now you've slapped a website. They are going to start like thinking, oh, it works. Okay, that's my friend tried that, or my aunt tried this, or blah, 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 blah. Like they're going to start kind of speculating their own thing, or they think that it's just a weight loss website. So that's why it's so important to create that back and forth, so that way you guide them through the entire process and really show that customer service aspect of it, and you're matching them to things. Something that helps me is I tell them, I want to match you up to products that I don't want you wasting your money on. Like some of these products you probably don't even need. Like it's not time for you to use them. Like if they're trying to lose weight, I want them to focus on losing weight first, and then maybe getting the wraps to help tighten and tone in the weight that they've already lost. Or maybe I do want to recommend the wraps since the beginning. Or maybe they don't need a cleanse. You know, like there's extra products that you can recommend, but I always try to emphasize the fact that I want to help them save the most amount of money and not waste their money, because that's probably something that they've already done, especially if they want to lose weight. They've probably tried other methods. And they like, what makes you different and your business different? So that's something that you can provide, and you can help them with that back and forth conversation. And that's really going to help you with sealing the deal. So another thing that came up was options for starting up conversations. You can go about it many different ways. You can build a relationship and then send out messages to people. That is one thing that I kind of recommend that you do, but it's totally up to you. Building a relationship with people that you newly followed on your Instagram or Facebook and then messaging them is probably going to give you better conversations with them, because they're not going to be like, oh my gosh, you just added me today and you're already trying to sell me your products. Like it can come off a little bit rude if you're just automatically messaging them about your business and products. You can, however, send them a welcome message. There are some leaders that do that, and that's totally up to you. So a welcome message just basically consists of a short, brief description of who you are and what you do. So my welcome message was something super simple. Let me see if I can get it, because I don't really use it that much. But I did at some point, because it really helped me to see who was new and who wasn't. So all I say is, hey girl, thank you so much for your follow. I love to give my new followers the opportunity to get an exclusive offer for my business. I offer a large variety of products from hair growth, detox, weight loss, and skincare. If you're interested in more info, just let me know. And then that way I knew that they were kind of new, and it gave me an idea of like how long ago did I follow them. And that way I knew that I needed to interact with them before I offered them. And then my follow-up message to them was just something simple that was just like, hey girl, not sure if you caught my stories. Was there anything, or I'm sorry, not sure if you saw my stories. Was there anything that caught your eye? I'm having a really good deal on my keto coffee today. Or like I emphasize on a specific product. So you could do welcome message, and then of course cold messaging. Your cold message is just a message that you're going to send to your followers. If you don't do a welcome message, then you don't have to really worry about kind of like fixing it. But a cold message, you still want to be personal. You don't want to just be like, some of our old cold messages were just like, hey girl, I'm looking for product testers for my 90-day challenge and you're gonna get my discount and da, da, da. It was just like, again, word vomit. Or they were like bedazzled with a whole bunch of emojis. Like they had an emoji after every single word, especially like the greens. They had the entire fruit collection from the iPhone, like all of the emojis. So those are things that you kind of want to avoid, because it's like, okay, you're copying and pasting this to everybody. Just be personal. So it could just be a cold message. Like recently, what I've been doing is I've been sending a message, a cold message, and then I will send them an emoji, or I'm sorry, like a GIF picture or like a funny emoji from Instagram, because when it comes up in their messages, it doesn't show my message. They have to actually open it. So they can't just kind of read a little bit of what it says in their subject line in Instagram. But again, cold messages are not meant to be copied and pasted. I give out samples, and then you should be creating your own. I know that some of you have been using some of you have been using my message, but I promise that if you create your own, it's going to definitely give you better results. So with that, I'm going to move on to expanding your network. So Misha has a really good video that talks about expanding your network and how you can do so organically. And then Rachel has a good video about how you can unfollow, since recently we haven't been using unfollowing apps because of how they flag Instagram, and then your Instagram can be shut down. So those are two videos that you definitely want to watch. But with expanding your network, a few little tips that I have for that is narrowing down your interests. So you want to write down 3 things that you absolutely love, but you don't want it to be generalized. So let's say you like makeup. Makeup is super broad. And I was actually talking to one of my distributors this morning when we did a brief training. Like if you talk about makeup, your makeup could be very different. Like your interest in makeup could be very different from someone else's, because there's such a large spectrum when it comes to makeup. So why don't you narrow it down to maybe a specific brand? Even that can be super broad, but it could be like a specific, if you're really, really into makeup, maybe you can just get as specific as you can so that you narrow it down to something. So I had talked about like funny memes. Recently, something that I kind of looked up was like bilingual moms, because that's something that I'm really, really focusing on since I'm growing my Hispanic network. So I will look up bilingual moms, for example, as a hashtag. So then once I've looked it up as a tag that it comes up, I'll click on it, and then it'll show me anybody who has a public profile. But I do not do anything with these people that are recently, because then that means that it's probably people that have a public profile, have thousands of followers, and they're just really, really popular, right? So I scroll all the way down as much as I want. And then I'm going to find someone, for example, this person posted a baby on August 22nd. I'm going to go through that, and they only have 29 likes on that picture. So that's telling me that it's not someone who is like super popular. It's not a blogger. They don't have thousands of followers, or not super saturated. They probably might not even know who we are. Maybe they do, but it's something that it's going to allow me to be personal with them. And I personally don't follow public profiles. I actually go through their followers and follow people who are private. But that's just me. I don't really, I just like to have that more one-on-one interaction with them with a private profile. But if you like public, go ahead, because sometimes public profiles are easier for host to post. But that's just something that I personally do. Um, so narrowing down your likes and interests, searching for people organically, and that's definitely going to help you. And then once they add you, make sure you're interacting with them. So with my new followers, I automatically like anywhere from 6 to 9 of their pictures, and I comment at least one of them. And I say something genuine. If I think they're pretty, I'm going to tell them they look pretty. If I like their shirt, maybe I'll ask them where they got it. I just try to kind of really specialize or like narrow it down. Hold on, my iPad's dying. I just really try to narrow it down as much as I can. I'm sorry, interact with them as much as I can. So another thing that you guys wanted me to go over was when people leave you on red or they don't answer. Guys, this happens. Okay, you go to a store, you give your email to subscribe to someone, and they start sending you a buttload of messages. What do? Half of them you don't open. If you're like me, I have like 12 different emails because once I get to like 30,000, I just create a whole new email because I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I subscribe to Target? Or why did I subscribe to Old Navy and they send me 20 messages a day? Like, why are they doing this? Because they're advertising. Obviously, you don't want to be messaging 20 times a day, but people are going to ignore you. They're going to leave you on red. They're going to, like, they might ask you all these questions, show personal interest, and then they fall off the face of the earth. So, a couple things that you can do when that happens is you can either message them something simple and say, like, hey, did I catch you at a bad time? And sometimes you could even apologize. Like if you have this full on conversation, they tell you they're going to order Friday, you follow up on Friday, and they fall off the face of the earth. And then you follow up again the following Friday, and you're doing this for like 3 weeks consistently. Sometimes I send them a message and be like, hey girl, I'm so sorry. I don't know if I said something wrong, but I thought you were really interested. And that's why I'm kind of following up. And then they'll be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I just didn't have the money and blah, blah, blah. Like then they'll open up. So again, you can show personal interest. You can just be funny with it. You can send them a funny GIF too and be like, hey, like what happened? Another thing that you can do is that if they have been like not following up with you, is you can comment 2 of their pictures and actually comment on them. Maybe ask them a question that like, or do something that makes them have to answer one of your questions on their picture. For example, like, where'd you get that shirt kind of thing. Forces them to follow up, like answer, and then you can follow up with them. Those are kind of a couple things that you could do. As far as organization with people, I showed you guys how I have a potential loyal customer and a potential distributor. So if I spoke to someone yesterday and they didn't respond, I will message them today and I will say like, hey girl, did you get my message? If they still didn't answer, I will do that again Friday or Saturday. If they don't answer, then I push them off to a different list. So I have a couple lists. And then the same thing with people who specifically tell me that they want to order. I only give them about 3 tries. And then I start spacing it out. And then if they still don't respond, then I tell them like, hey girl, you just have to kind of tell me that you don't want the products anymore. Like I'll flat out tell them like, hey, like if you don't want the products anymore, that's totally okay. Like people change their mind. Or you can also, and then I have a master list. So then that list is people that I follow up with monthly or maybe 2 times monthly, depending if there's like some type of sale, if there's like a BOGO, if there's like anything like that I have going on, then I'll message them then. But something that you could also do with people who leave you on red or just you haven't been able to seal the deal is switch it up. So if you were talking to them about the hair, skin, and nails, and they were supposed to order and they didn't, maybe a couple weeks from now, you can tell them, hey girl, so I know we spoke about the hair, skin, and nails, but I actually have a really good deal in my keto coffee, or I have a good deal on my collagen drink, or I have a good deal on a completely different product that you did not talk to them about, because then it might spike their interest up again. Or if it's someone who was a distributor that was supposed to be a distributor, you can tell them about the product. So you can tell them like, hey, I know that we were talking about joining the business, but maybe you'd be interested in the products instead. If it was someone who was a customer, who was a potential customer, and they told you they didn't have money, and then you transitioned it to a distributor, and then they still didn't sign up, you can always do a host to post with them too. Tell them that you're having a giveaway if your team is having a giveaway, and then that way you can kind of get them on the ball rolling. Like you can give them a business host to post, and that can definitely help. If someone was talking to you potentially about a product, and they didn't order, offering them the business is probably one of your best bets, because most likely, obviously, they were interested in the products, but something is holding them back. And most of the time, it's money. So telling them that they can join the business and get a $100 shopping spree when they get their first 4 loyal customers might spike their interest on knowing that they can try the products essentially for free. So that's something that you could do too. Which leads me to the promoting aspect of the products. So we know that we have social media, and we're obviously supposed to be promoting our products through our stories. You can do stories and your profile. I personally just do stories, and then sometimes I'll do it on my profile, and then 24 hours later I'll remove it, because I like to keep my profile just talking about the business, but that's just me. It's totally up to you. I only do it this way now because I've created a rapport with my followers, and they know who I am, and I'm always showing them my face, and I'm always talking about the product. So if you feel comfortable that way, then you can do so. Aesthetically speaking, we talk about making sure that when you look at your profile, it doesn't look like you're an It Works distributor, that it's not just It Works products everywhere on your actual profile. But if that works for you and you're getting sales from it, don't stop doing it, because not everybody runs their business the same way. Again, we have some top income earners because that, culturally speaking, it works for them. Their page looks absolutely horrendous, but they're making thousands of dollars. So like, if it works for you and culturally speaking, it's something that works too, and your followers are loving it and they're liking it and you're getting sales from it, then do it. But it just didn't work for me. So, promoting a variety of products. You guys, we have over 50 different kinds of products, and we tend to promote the same ones over and over again. So this is something that I'm talking about because I have this fault. So 99% of my stories are about keto coffee and chocolate greens because I'm so passionate about it, and Thermofite X and Cleanse because I lost all this weight from it. But hello, we have so many other products. People are probably wanting to grow out their hair. People are trying to get energy. Like, we can mix it up a little bit. Focus on a product that maybe you want to try and you want to talk about. So that way you can kind of like just talk about that. So like, if you haven't tried the defining gel, then talk about the defining gel. Just specialize your story on just that single product, and that's it. So, and then from there you can upsell it. And creating your own story. So you want to be yourself again with your stories. You can screenshot other leaders for inspiration and then kind of create your own. I'll show you guys an idea of what I did. And I'm saying this because I'm at fault also from screenshotting other leaders, and then I use them as my own. But sometimes we fall into this issue of like bloggers being upset that we use their pictures, and then it's like all over our social media, and then it's like trying to get it back. Because we don't know who creates the story. Sometimes some of the stories we don't even realize, and the background might have something completely inappropriate, which I didn't know. Like, I screenshot a leader's post and I use it as my own, and one of the slides ended up having a really bad word in the background, and I had no idea until someone told me, like, hey, you need to take that down, because I don't curse, for anybody who doesn't know me personally. But so Alyssa Bilyeu did this story where she put positions open and she put a picture of herself, and then she put a little blurb on the bottom. And then this was my recreation of her story. And I did the same thing. So I used the app over, and then I did the same thing. Mine was a little bit bigger because she makes a lot of money, and I obviously don't make as much as she does. So I just made it as personal and to myself. Like, I talked about how I get to spoil my babies. Like, I just made it my own. So that's something that you can do. You can always screenshot to use it for inspiration to create your own. And then I just briefly wanted to talk to you guys about self-motivation, which is a huge aspect of your business, you guys. We go through everything with this business. As a business owners, you have your highs, you have your lows, you have days where you feel like a rock star, and then you have days where you feel miserable. There are months where you're going to be signing dozens of customers. There's going to be other ones where it's going to be super slow. There's going to be days where you had 20 people who wanted to order, and then not a single one orders them. I'm just going to be super real with you guys. You want to be doing self-motivation, because that's what's going to help you stay positive through it all. being positive is draining. So obviously when when times are tough, like being positive and running your own business is also going to be draining because you still have to show up. If you're sick, you still have to show up. If you're going through life, you still have to show up. I'm not saying that you can't take time off. I'm just saying that if you want to be making X amount of money, you obviously have to show up, even on the times that you don't feel good. So, a couple things that you can do for self motivation is I have implemented journaling Zooms, and I just feel like it just helps with people just kind of venting about their emotions and their feelings. It's not just all business related, it could be a lot of different things going on. Journaling Zoom is meant for you to just kind of write down your thoughts and feelings, especially if you're more of a private person. You can listen to podcasts, you can listen to books. Rachel Hollis has an entire book collection that is really good for self motivation. I have a book. That I actually bought it during conference. It's called The Surprisingly Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results. And this is one of my favorite books. You can read if you read. If you don't read, you can listen to it. You can listen to music. Self-motivation comes in many different ways. Anything that makes you feel good about yourself and who you are and confident in everything. And other three things that I wanted to talk about was as far as your business, well, with the self-motivation topic is, are you having a bad day? So if we have a bad day, don't let that reflect on your business. So if you are don't put your drama on social media, first thing. And second thing is, don't let it reflect on what's going on. So like if you need to take time and just kind of like time to yourself, that's totally okay. Just make sure that you're doing it in a way that it doesn't affect your business. You can call a friend. Okay. So I know that a lot of us don't know each other, but calling a friend sometimes is better when the person doesn't know who you are because you can truly vent to them without being judged. So that could be a way that you can definitely talk to someone, the person who enrolled you, especially if it's something business related, because you guys, like, I've been with this business for 2 years. Like I mentioned, I have gone through ups and downs. I have gone through it all. A lot of us leaders have. There are things that have happened to my business that nobody knows about. And those are things that I just keep going. Like, I know where I want to be. I know what this business is capable of doing. I've seen it be done to other people. I've seen it be done to me. I make a full-time income out of it, and anything can happen. If I were to have opened up my business somewhere else, a completely different business, things can happen. There could be, for example, floods, anything can just happen to your business that you have no idea or did not expect it for it to happen. But that doesn't mean I'm going to shut down my business and then just call it a day and quit it all up after I've just spent my investment and time and hard work. I'm not just going to quit. Like, I'm not a quitter. So I'm just going to keep going. So if you need to vent and talk to someone who has been in the business longer than you have, because they probably have gone through it. So if you're not getting sales, guess what? There were months where I didn't get sales. I had maybe a distributor that I signed up and they quit. Hey, that happens. People quit all the time. This business isn't for everyone. So there are just so many things and so many just aspects of it. So like with the self-motivation, or if you're feeling down, or if you have doubts, or if you need to talk to someone, utilize your chat. Like, my team knows that my team chat is there for venting too. So like if you need a day to just say like, oh my gosh, this customer was horrendous to me, send us a screenshot. We'll help you vent. We'll get you through it. Or if you want to say how horrendous this potential customer was being to you and how they sent you what a pyramid scheme and blah 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 blah, and you're just scamming people and like, okay, this happened. So like people are like that. We just got to get through it. And that's what we're here for. We're here as a team. So anybody under Tara's team, I'm always here for you guys too. So you guys can always message me if you're going through it and you need just to vent and just need to laugh it off or something. Like, I will help you get through your struggles. And so will the other leaders too. So, I forgot another little quick thing that I wanted to mention real quick is when you're creating these potentials and you have potentials that tell you that they want to sign up and they end up not signing up, don't focus on the same potentials. So you're not going to keep focusing. I mean, yes, you want to focus on them at the fact that like you want to get them signed up, but you don't want to keep like focusing on them and being like, oh my gosh, this person isn't signing up and it's been like 3 months and you've been following up with them for like every single week. Like, no, don't waste your time or energy on that person. Keep creating new potentials, because if you're doing your messaging every single day and you're creating potentials every day, like you're essentially creating 10 new potentials every single day, and here you are focusing on just one person who doesn't want to order. Like, focus on your other 10 that you have on your list and keep creating those new potentials. um, because if you're messaging like every single day, I mean, if you're getting 10 new potentials a day, you have 300 potential customers in a 30-day month, right? So, and here you are sobbing over one potential loyal customer that didn't sign up when you still have 299. Okay, so just focus on everybody who is going to buy. Go into your mind, like in a great mindset as you're going into these conversations with your potential customers and distributors. You guys, we have sold out of our products. Our products have been on back order. When our Thermal Fight X came out, there were people waiting for months until they got it. Not because we're bad in that aspect. It's just that everybody wanted our products. Our products sell out all the time. So people want our products. You just have to be confident in them. And just remember that we're all here as a team. So I'm going to finish this. I'm going to stop the recording. Did anybody have any questions?